What do YouTube? Welcome to the first video of it just being me today. You feel me? This is what I'm gonna call. I still don't know what I'm gonna call it yet. Y'all probably see in the title of the video, but I think I'm just gonna call this. I'm between Rob's thoughts and Rob's takes. I'm not asking people to see which one sounds better. But this is basically just me talking hoops. I've gotten a couple of advice from people to tell me to do this. Just come go on and record. Post game. I didn't do a post game during the season, like when I started YouTube, because I just don't know why. But now the season's over, and it I think I'm gonna do this more. Talk about what's going on in the NBA. Now we still gonna talk. We gonna talk more about the NFL and on the podcast now that the season's over, but I still like talking about the NBA a lot, because that's the sport I really like focus on. I focus on NFL, but I focus a lot more on the NBA. Just more, how do I say, invested in the NBA than I am in the NFL. Follow me on Twitter, Kiddo Rob is gonna be right here somewhere, and thing will be in the description below. And also make sure to subscribe. We're gonna be doing these. I'm thinking about doing it daily, but it's really gonna depend on like what's going on in the league. Pretty much, yeah. It's gonna depend on what's going on in the league. If nothing's happened that day or throughout the week, I probably won't post anything. If it just be me, but I'll think of something probably. But let's get into it, man. Lakers with a chip, man. Lakers with a championship. Number 17. Number 17, man. It's been 10 years. 10 years. I think the last time Lakers won a chip, I was 8 years old, I believe. I was 8. Let me see. 2001. I was like 8 or 9 years old when the Lakers won their last chip. And like the way historic plays out, man, just like the LeBron second MVP in Orlando, just exactly how it was. It's crazy how that is. It's crazy. That was a 2009 championship, I believe. So yeah, it's just crazy how that is, man. How that played out. This is great, man. This is great. Pure happiness is what I'm feeling from yesterday night and today, man. I'm probably gonna feel like this for a while. Just pure joy, happiness. I used to watch the Lakers. 2000. I started watching basketball probably 2015, but I watched a couple games like 2014 and stuff back in the Robert Scarce and Jordan Clarkson and Nick Young days. But I really watched probably 2015. So basically I started watching the Lakers strong and heavy like back when D'Lo got drafted. That's when I really got invested with the Lakers and like really watched almost every game. Made my schedule based around watching their games and stuff like that. So that's my team. But to see where we are now from 5 years ago, 6 years ago, just joy, man. And we not done. That's the crazy part too. We not done. We are not done. Can you guys imagine if AD doesn't come back to the Lakers? Right? Like, that would be the craziest thing. Like, what decision would have to happen for him not to come back to the Lakers? It would have to be due with money. Because your best chance to win is with the Lakers. So, I mean, he's going to get paid. We're going to pay him the money. So it's like, there should be no question about it or anything. Just come join so we can repeat. Because nobody's stopping us. We're going to build a better team than we have this year, hopefully. It's going to be fun next year, man. I keep telling people, too, like, if you thought this year was, like, competitive and fun, next year, with everybody healthy, might be the best basketball season we've seen since. I can't even tell you. It's gonna be so crazy. It's gonna be so crazy. You honestly, if you were to say you know who's gonna win the chip, you're lying. You're lying because there's no way you can know who's gonna come out in the East or the West. Because you got to see if Kevin Durant comes back healthy, which we all hope he does. We got to see if who, how the rookies that have if they have an impact, second year players. I mean, the West is gonna be packed. It's gonna be packed from the 1 seed to the 13th seed. That's gonna be it's gonna be a ride next season. So yeah, if you think you know who's gonna win next season, you're more than likely lying. But shout out to the Heat, man. They competed better than I thought they were gonna compete, and I didn't think they were gonna get there in the first place. Honestly, if you would have told me, if you would have told me that in the beginning of the season that the Heat, the Miami Heat, were gonna make it to the finals, I would have said you're lying. That's just not true. There's no way. So many other teams, not even so many, just the Bucks and the Celtics I had above the Heat. Or even the 76ers I had above the Heat. But for it to be the Heat to win the East is really crazy. I do question if they would have won if we was like in regular times. But you can't think like that. They set out and they accomplished their goals, man. They accomplished their goals. They what was it? Gentlemen sweep the Bucks, 4-2 the Celtics, and got 4-2 by the Lakers. Now I honestly do think that the Heat don't make it to the championship if the Celtics don't go on just missing shots. But like I said, you can't think like that. You gotta accept it for what it was, and they worked hard to get to where they got. Jimmy Butler was looking in the finals like a top 5 player. And I've been seeing like a lot on like Twitter and like the Discord that I'm in and from friends that Jimmy Butler's a top 10 player, but I'm like, nah. He like top 20. But I don't think he's top 10. You know? He's a good player. Like the way I describe Jimmy Butler is like he's not an elite scorer, nor is he an elite defender. He's a good defender. He's like a top like wing defender in our league. And offensively, he's not like crazy with it, but he gets the job done. What's the word? Like I can't even describe what he does. He just does what needs to be done, basically. And you gotta respect that. That's how I describe Jimmy Butler. He's not really looking for himself. He's not overdoing. He's doing what needs to be done for the team's success. That's the best description I can give for Jimmy Butler. He does what he needs to do for the team to win. If that means passing the ball more, that's what he's gonna do. If that means rebounding, that's what he's gonna do. If that means scoring more points, that's what he's gonna do. That's his whole mindset when playing for his teams. Do what needs to be done. We're in a group chat, the podcast crew. We're in a group chat, and Najee said he had the audacity to say that Bam he's gonna be the next AD. Hey, shout out to Bam, man. He came back from that injury. I knew he was gonna come back, but he didn't look the same. Like I think he was less aggressive than he would have been. But in the group chat, he said that Bam's gonna be the next AD. So we went on to discuss that, and we was like, I had to shut that down. I mean, like, he's not gonna be next AD. He's not as tall as AD. That's not. Bam is gonna be Bam. If you were to compare Bam to anybody, you have to compare him to a small forward because he's the size of a regular small forward. Not small, like a power forward, but he's a playmaking big he's a playmaking big. So he's not really scoring like an AD. He don't have those move sets, that post game, that footwork like Anthony Davis. The main thing I think he needs to work on is, which I think a lot of bigs and people like Ben Simmons needs to work on, is just getting a proper jumper, man. One that they can rely on. One that's gonna bring positivity to the team. Because Bam doesn't take threes. I don't know. I don't think he took any threes this season. He probably took one in like situations or whatever, but he's not a 3-point taker. So and he's not a mid range shooter either. He don't have a post game. So if I was Bam, I was coaching Bam, I'll be like, all right, look, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna work your way to the 3 point, but not in a season. You're gonna start with a mid range. You're gonna create a mid range game for yourself that opens up for the Jimmy Butlers of the world who likes to drive and have their like have an effect in the paint because that's where he dominates, Jimmy. So he needs to develop mid range and not instantly go into 3 pointers. Same for like Ben Simmons. Like you don't need to instantly go to a 3 pointer. You gotta figure out a mid range, have a mid range game. At least be a threat from the mid range. Make that almost a guaranteed bucket for you, and then you work your way to the three. I mean, we're in the era of basketball where the big needs to make the three. Needs to be able to at least shoot 30 something percent from the three. 32, 33% from the three. If you can do that, then you're gonna be valuable. You're gonna be a valuable asset to the team. But if you're a big and you can only dominate in the inside, unless you Rudy Gobert, who's blocking the shots and having an impact on shots and everything, and a great pick and roll player, your value just not that high. You guys saw in the finals and like multiple times in the playoffs, the Lakers had to take out JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard out of the rotation just because like they couldn't guard or nor did they have a positive impact on the offensive side of the ball. So they had to take them out the game plan, which is the right move. But if they did have a jump shot, if Dwight Howard had a jump shot, if JaVale McGee had a jump shot, they would play. They would have played against the Rockets. They would have played more against the Heat. But they didn't. They couldn't do that. So the only time they played is when it was Nikola Jokic out there. I don't think JaVale played that series. It was only Dwight Howard. Bron with his fourth finals MVP. Fourth finals, man. Shout out to Bron, man. He the GOAT to me. I mean, some people say MJ, but I think to me it's Bron. For me, it's more Bron for off the court reasons of what he's done, but on the court, he's as much as the GOAT as any other legend there's ever been. I mean, he was great. I can't even describe him, bro. He's just a great player, and it's when he's on the court and when he's off the court, there's such a big difference, and that's what I don't see in any other team except for I haven't seen that with any other team. What he does when he's on the court, the offense runs smooth as hell. He's I don't want to say perfect because nobody's perfect, but he's always making the right play, right? And then when he's off the court, it's just like everything is just chaos at times, or it's not moving. So when he's on the court, it's just like, I mean, who else has had this kind of impact? Who else is just controls the whole pace of the game? Is what LeBron does. Now the plan for this is since the NBA season is over, I plan on doing this thing where I talk about, all the 22 teams that were in the bubble. I plan on talking about how each team can improve, like what they need to do to improve to be a better team next year. So that's 22 teams. That's 22 episodes. That's 22 of your boy Rob. Now I'll probably do double episodes of these, like on days if something big happens in the NBA, or like as we get closer to the NBA draft, which I believe is in November. Hold on, let me look it up. November 18th. So I gotta we'll see, but I think I'll get 22 episodes up in that time, before that time. That should be fun. But yeah, we're gonna start with the Lakers. I'm gonna go do some research, see what they can do to improve as a team. I already, I already got ideas that they can do for sure. I got every idea that they can do, that they should do, but the question is, will they do it? I think that's pretty much it for the first video. I still don't know what I'm gonna call this. I think I'm gonna call it Rob's Thoughts. That sounds too long. I might call it Rob Takes, but that sucks. So y'all see it more than likely. But yeah, man, subscribe to the channel. I'm about to be doing these hopefully daily. When I get out here, it's gonna be fun. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to miss out. I'm dropping gems. I'm dropping knowledge, straight heat. Cause I also came up with. I also really wanted to do this because I was watching the podcast back, and I noticed that I don't really do a lot of talking. I really just listen, give out the questions, but I don't really give you guys a lot of knowledge on what's going on in my head, like what I be thinking. Like I'll say some stuff, but you know, I don't really say that much. So this is gonna be a perfect opportunity for me to like let y'all in on what I'm thinking, how I feel about certain stuff going on in the NBA. I'm thinking about like doing it with other people, like having guests, just one on one, me and a guest. But I don't know. I'm still thinking. That would be cool. It would be easy. It would give me the chance to do like double guests in a week or something like that. So it should be fun. But yeah, man. Hopefully this video wasn't too long. I'm gonna see when I edit it. But that's it. See y'all next time. Peace.